Craisins, craisins, do you have some craisins? Craisins, craisins, I could go for some craisins. They're like raisins, but with cranberries. Cranberries are a New Jersey staple, my craisin loving babies. Oh, craisins, where can I find you? Oh, craisins, where can you find me? It's Comics and Shots, a completely improvised semi-comedic musing by Howard Stern's Mick the Nerd, aka YouTube and TikTok's Mick the Man, aka Mick the Maverick, aka a guy who could actually go for some craisins. Today's subject, The Flash Rebirth. Number 1, specifically, but let's do another ramble today. Yeah. Let's harken back to a very strange time in DC's history. A very strange one. When DC thought Barry Allen was a better Flash and main character of The Flash than Wally West. Remember when they tried that? Did the whole CSI thing and everything? Barry studying crime scenes with his best friend that has apparently existed the entire time, August St. Hart. We'll get to him later. And then there's like 2 Wally Wests, essentially. The traditional Wallace Rudolph West and his cousin, Wallace Rudolph West. They end up renaming the second one Ace West later on, thankfully. Because there were 2 Wallaces. There are just 2 Wallaces now. Oh, the West family is just fucked. It's weird. Yeah. Yeah, but I kind of remember, like, Rebirth, the Rebirth era for The Flash being pretty good, albeit some annoying things, like, See, I'm also a fan of Silver Age Flash, and one thing that was a little torturous to get through in the Silver Age was whenever Barry Allen was late for some nonsense or whatever, and Iris would fucking henpeck him. And this is post New 52, so you know what's happening. They reset the dynamic of Barry and Iris to be back when Iris was just really annoyed whenever he was late because he just couldn't tell her that he was the Flash for some reason. Yeah, he just couldn't. Even though in the comics, Iris actually made him promise that once they get married, he would tell her that he was the Flash. Why was that the rule? That's the actual rule. Look that up. And no, Barry, tell this woman that you love that you're a superhero. Jay Garrick told his wife that he was the Flash, probably before you did when you were dating. Subject to the marriage, yeah. Read the original comics. There's no proposal scene. You probably remember a proposal scene from some comic somewhere. But that was not the original comics. In the comics, they're just kind of dating for a bit, and then they're engaged. And then, some nonsense, and then Barry's back to life. Eobard killed Barry's mom for some reason, and that's, stuck. Even though in the original comics, both his parents were alive. Yeah. Give him a Batman origin. Yeah. They really did give him basically a Batman origin, didn't they? I guess they felt like his origin story didn't have panache or something. I don't know. You think, the CW version? A lot of people forget that that's a relatively new addition to the character. The classic comics, Barry got struck by lightning, got superpowers and wanted to be a superhero because he was a fan of The Flash, Jay Garrick, whose comics were published in his reality. Oh, that is so weird. And then he ended up traveling realities and turns out he's actually real. Yeah! What is reality? It's DC Comics, whatever it wants to be, baby. Ow! Yeah. But yeah, the Rebirth era for Flash was a good, starting point to getting things back to the status quo. even if it did later have a really pointless Forces arc, which went nowhere. It really didn't go anywhere. Let's get real here. Like, I like Fuerza. She was the coolest thing about that arc, but it really went nowhere. Steadfast was kind of cool. Psych also went nowhere with. Yeah, but, you know, it led to what we're on now, and Wally West is back to being the Flash, and Barry Allen is just chilling. Yeah. That's where we are, and that's where it shall be. Wally and his family, yeah. I know Wally and family's a soft rhyme, but I did it this time. You lime. Yeah. So yeah, like I would say 900,000 out of a million of the first issue, and probably for Flash Rebirth in general. Yeah. With that, like, comment, and subscribe. Donate if you're feeling nice. Share it with a bear. And always remember, praise be to the Blood Elk, fear the Stab Eponymous, and death to Kronos. Malcolm Reed should have kissed Major Hayes before he died. That was just logical. People weren't ready. Have a night, folks.